Bob is one of those rare people who's at the point of intersection of the entire architecture culture. Architecture itself, education, writing, thinking, scholarship, activism, all of those things intersect at Bob Stern.
Bob was an obvious person to win the Scully Prize. His accomplishments as a teacher and educator, as Dean of Yale, are noteworthy and quite extraordinary.
Bob, as a critic, as a teacher, as a dean, represents everything that one would aspire to as a holistic architect.
It's extraordinary the number of things that he does at any given time at the same time.
We disagreed about everything, and therefore we could legitimately play Jekyll and Hyde. But what we realized was that we couldn't do it if we didn't have each other. So from the beginning, we were joined at the hip.
You can disagree with him and still be friends. And in fact, a well-informed disagreement and debate enhances friendship with Bob. That's special.
One of the great qualities of Bob is his loyalty. So he's famous for that. The most generous and the most loyal of all friends you could have.
The amount of publications that he's produced over the years simultaneously while he's been a practicing architect and a dean and a teacher, it's really amazing.
His work on New York is probably the most important single thing that has been written on the city of New York from an architectural point of view.
Well, everybody talks about New York, but nobody's ever really documented it in a way that is physical. And it took an architect who's passionate about that subject to make it happen.
Not only are they a valuable resource, but they're the greatest collection of love imaginable to the greatest city on earth. You know, he loves this place.
There is no other writer I could think of that has even attempted to write the way Bob has on such a variety of topics.
This isn't something that you sort of churn out in a summer vacation. These books take years of dedication, and the level of focus on the books, I think, is really a hallmark of them.
He's wonderful in so many ways and accomplished in so many other ways, but I really do think for Bob his legacy will be his teaching.
He's been an incredible dean. He's resurrected the school. It has the best faculty, the best visiting faculty, best exhibitions and the best publications, and it's all due to his commitment and his energy.
Bob has so much energy for being Dean of Yale, because that is really where he excels. I mean, he was born to be a dean.
He has brought in the best and the brightest from all over the world to lecture, to teach, to participate, and that in turn has attracted the best and brightest students.
He's a tough critic, he really is, but it makes you want to work hard, and it makes you realize you're not going to get anything past him without really backing it up with solid research, solid exploration, with a real argument.
He's opened up the school to every kind of architectural voice and architectural issue. It's the most open and accessible kind of school you could have.
He doesn't come into studio and insist that students create his type of building, but he does insist that every student bring rigor to their project. He doesn't demand that it looks like his, but it damn well better be a great version of what it is they set out to do. He does insist on that.
What Bob has created is a place where there is the freedom to find out who you are and express who you are. And in an educational environment, that's a wonderful, wonderful thing to do.
I was 2 years ahead of Bob, and the first day of school when he arrived, he came pre-reputation as being incredibly smart, this young man from New York, and we all knew that there was a new presence at Yale Architecture School.
He was already full-blown on the scene. Nobody had to make him. He wasn't molded by anybody. He was.
Right away, he became very friendly with Vince. Vince was his mentor. Bob regarded, respected, and loved him. And they had a very strong relationship in school, which has been maintained over these years.
Vince was a great student. He was a great teacher. Bob is the same thing, this sequence of being a great student and now a great teacher, among many other things. You can imagine that they do finish each other's sentences and that they have the same thoughts at exactly the same moment and that they roll their eyes at the same time, you know.
I think the idea that Bob and Vince have come back together for this prize on the 10th anniversary is perfect.